As the Donald Trump-Jeffrey Epstein scandal continues to explode, it seems like the person capitalizing on it the most is Elon Musk. As his feud with Donald Trump continues, he finds more munition to go after Trump every single day. And a new report reveals just how damaging that munition is and how Elon Musk is delivering what will be a knockout blow to Donald Trump and MAGA. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our channel. Now, before we can get into this new report that shows just how badly Elon is hurting Donald Trump with his latest move, I want to start with the way he is hurting Donald Trump, and that's Trump freaking out over Epstein on this call.
What do you think, what are the things that are most important that you would like to see the FBI get to the bottom of?
I think they could look at all of it. It's all the same scam. They could look at this Jeffrey Epstein hoax also, because that's the same stuff. That's all put out by Democrats.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the naive Republicans fall right into line like they always do. They just don't have the sustainability. They don't have they don't have that stick to it like glue. The Democrats, you know, they have bad policy. They have bad candidates. They have bad everything. But they stick together. The Republicans don't do that. But they ought to look into the Jeffrey Epstein hoax too, because that's another hoax that's frankly put out by the pushing the Republicans and put out by the Democrats.
No, they definitely set the Republicans up. One big prosecutor look at it all. Would that make you feel good, you think?
Well, I think it's in the case of Epstein, they've already looked at it, and they are looking at it, and I think all they have to do is put out anything credible. But, you know, that was run by the Biden administration for 4 years. I can imagine what they put into files, just like they did with the others. I mean, the Steele dossier was a total fake.
Right.
They took 2 years to figure that out for the people. And all of the things that you mentioned were fake. Yeah. So I would imagine if they were run by Chris Wray and they were run by Comey, and because it was actually even before that administration, they've been running these files. And so much of the things that we found were fake with me, but especially you look at that Steele dossier where they paid like 14 or 16 million. That's more than James Patterson gets paid to do a #1 bestseller.
Donald Trump is clearly in a panic, and he has no idea what story he wants to tell. He wants to say that the Epstein files don't exist, but they do, but they were written by Obama, and we can't share what Obama wrote because it's phony, but there is credible stuff in there, and we should let it get out. The FBI should investigate, but what should they investigate? It is all a mess. He can't keep his story straight, partially because his brain is made of pudding, and it is screwing him around every turn, not with just the average American who's furious with Donald Trump, but MAGA as well. And new polling reveals that, and it is especially damaging for what we're about to see Elon Musk just did.
Yeah, I would say that the word is dissatisfied. That is how Americans feel in terms of the releases so far of the Epstein case. Take a look here, Epstein case, amount of info release. The winner here, 50% dissatisfied. Doesn't matter, 29%, not heard enough, 17%. But look at the bottom of your screen. The percentage that are satisfied is just 3%. That's 1, that's 2, that is just 3%. I feel like the count on Sesame Street. Just 3% of Americans are satisfied so far with the amount of information released. The clear winner in this particular case is 50%. Half of the public is dissatisfied, at least so far.
And are you seeing a big difference between how Republicans and Democrats are viewing this?
No, and that I think is kind of the interesting sort of nugget in what's going on here. You see this 50% dissatisfied, and let's break it down by party. Okay, Epstein case, amount of info released. Look at this. You get 43% of lean GOP, that's Republicans and independents who lean towards the Republican Party, who are dissatisfied. Look at this.
This has become the most contentious issue for MAGA Donald Trump has ever seen. He has stripped away their health care. He has told them lie after lie while begging for fundraising dollars. He's taken away their SNAP benefits, and they're mad about Epstein more than anything else. And in a moment in which Donald Trump is losing his own supporters, someone has stepped in to take them away. That is Elon Musk, and this new report details how what he just did will be a knockout blow to Trump. New poll: Elon Musk America Party would swing the 2026 election from GOP to Democrats on generic ballot. Musk's newly launched independent political party, the America Party, poses a real risk of being a spoiler for Republicans in the 2026 midterms, according to a new poll. Musk's bromance with Donald Trump developed cracks during his tumultuous tenure of work with Doge and then exploded over Musk's very loud opposition to the Trump-backed Big Ugly Bill. The world's richest man has now gone to war with the world's most powerful man and used his social media platform to lob insults, both in words and tactics, at each other. Musk has escalated the feud to the point of accusing Trump and his key allies of being in the Epstein files and threatening to use his immense wealth to punish the GOP at the ballot box, going beyond the earlier threat of funding primary challenges to take out Republicans who voted for the bill to actually forming his own political party. According to this latest poll, it very well could be the spoiler for Donald Trump. In a survey conducted from July 10th through 14th from 1,084 likely voters matched to the voter file, the results of the general congressional ballot showed that the America Party might not be able to win, but it did pose a real risk of being a spoiler for Republicans. All the while, Elon Musk is trying to steal more voters away from Donald Trump talking about the Epstein files, and he offered up this bombshell in response today, writing, "Wow, amazing that Epstein killed himself and Ghislaine is in federal prison for a hoax." At the same time as Elon Musk is using his massive platform and huge following to continue to poke and prod and poke holes in Donald Trump's story, his ridiculous narrative around Epstein, he is also forming a political party that will pull MAGA support, and it seems like the number one issue for that political party is the Epstein files, the most damaging political issue yet for Donald Trump. Elon is completely screwing it, and this new report reveals just that, as Donald Trump does everything he can to distract and cover up. And someone who was calling that out was Senator Cory Booker right here.
Let's start where we ended. It feels like after 9 long years, you might have a taker in trying to do something bipartisan when it comes to the Trump administration. Do you have any behind-the-scenes communications with any Republicans on your questions about the Jeffrey Epstein case?
Yeah, we're in active conversation, so I don't want to give too many details, but this can only be two things. Either Bovee and the Justice Department are lying about the Epstein situation, that they didn't have all these client lists and all this damning information about sex trafficking, or they're showing a dangerous lack of transparency, that they do have this information, but they're not sharing it publicly. They're either lying or this is lack of transparency. And Bovee served in a senior position. He was, as they say, in the room when it happened, when these discussions and these decisions are being made. He has information that is relevant to either the lying or relevant to the lack of transparency, and he is culpable. He is responsible for either one of those things, and he should come forward.
Well, lack of transparency, would you call it a cover-up?
Well, again, if what they said is true and they're not lying, that Pam Bondi had this damning evidence on her desk that she was just going to go through, that they went around, multiple members of the Trump administration went around and talked about this damning evidence, whipping people up. If they're not lying about that, then yeah, this is a cover-up of very serious allegations and charges.
Have you seen an instance in 6 months when any of those individuals have acted in a way that is separate from what Donald Trump either wants or asks them to do?
I mean, you really hit it on the head. And this is why you see even the Federalist Society and the heritage groups really breaking with Donald Trump, because the litmus test for Donald Trump now, and we've seen this with Hegseth and others, it's not qualifications for the job. Clearly, we've seen Republicans be talking about how unqualified these people are. The litmus test isn't a certain philosophy for him to put somebody on the bench. The litmus test is, are you loyal to dear leader or not? That is really what we're looking at here. And so you make the point of a lot of these figures that he's choosing because of their willingness to be enthralled with the president and the president's will. That's the problem we have in America right now, writ large, is the sense that there are people who are put in positions where they should be independent, like the Justice Department, where they should be offering checks and balances, like Republicans in the Senate and in the House. And they are not doing that. They are actually undermining the Constitution and surrendering power to the president that makes him less of a president and more of an authoritarian leader.
Do you see an opportunity to speak to his voters in a new and unique way? To say you have been betrayed, and forget about all the policy opportunities and policy betrayals where Trump wins because he says he's going to lower the price of grocery in front of melting meats at Bedminster during the campaign. That didn't seem to rattle his voters the way this has. Do you see a political opportunity to talk to his voters and bring them back to the Democratic coalition on matters of transparency?
Yeah, look, the litany now is long of his betrayals of people that put their trust in him. They're seeing their prices of their crib or car seats going up because of the tariff policy. They're losing their health care by the millions or having their rural hospital closed. Their farmers are being hurt in rural areas by his policies. You're seeing even people on his immigration policy. I've seen more and more people coming forward saying, I regret my vote because I didn't think he would take my spouse, who is nonviolent, who's in this country trying to get her visa, and now through your going into courthouses, you've deported them. The litany is long for reasons of people to feel betrayed, but this one, which has had such a life in the world of MAGA, so many people demanding that Donald Trump come in and offer transparency with these serious allegations of sex trafficking. And Donald Trump whipping this up into a fervor and trying to point fingers at Biden. Now, all of a sudden, when it's his Justice Department, when he has all the files and all the information, he's suddenly saying, nothing to see here, move along, move along. Well, that is a betrayal. It's either that he was lying to people or that he is now embodying the lack of transparency for serious allegations and potentially very serious crimes. So Donald Trump, we know you're a liar, so that's a possibility. And we also know that you have been leading in not releasing things, not releasing your tax returns, not releasing your health records. You have been hiding things from people for your entire time that you have been in American politics. One of these is true now. You are either doubling down on lies, which shouldn't be surprising to people, or doubling down on lack of transparency, which shouldn't be surprising people. But I hope that this is an eye-opening moment for a lot of people that put their trust, revealing what kind of liar and lack of transparency person that he is.
This is a cover-up. It is either that Donald Trump and his political allies exploited the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein, exploited the victims of those crimes for their political gain, or what is probably likely actually the case, both things can be true, but that Donald Trump is in these files and he doesn't want us to know. It could be one of those two things. I honestly think it's both, but either way, Donald Trump is screwed, and MAGA is going to make him pay, and we are going to enjoy every second of it. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.